So I don't know if you can tell it by looking at me, but I'm not necessarily an athlete. Now, if you back up to when I was in ninth grade, I was actually, if you can believe it, less athletic than I am now. My mother and I didn't really see eye to eye on a lot of things, and two of them happened to be the two things she was good at, which was school and basketball. And I was terrible at school and anything that required movement. So my school was a Detroit Waldorf school, and they were trying to figure out how to assimilate us into the general population because they were getting ready to close the high school down, and we had been an enclave to ourselves for a long time. So for whatever reason, Waldorf decided to form a girls' basketball team. Now, I didn't want to be on the basketball team. I just figured that I wasn't going to get A's in school and I wasn't going to do homework ever. So maybe this was just another way of getting on my mother's good side. Now, what I planned to do was ride the pine. Like I was going to join and get a uniform and then sit down and then never get on the court ever. But all of the girls in my school chickened out. So I ended up on junior varsity. Now, the problem with junior varsity was there was only two of us on junior varsity. The problem with varsity was there's only 5 of them. So as a non-basketball player who didn't want to run and had to get their uniform let out, I spent a lot of time playing basketball. Now, my mother decided that because she was a physical education major, she was the first African-American woman to coach basketball in the state of Georgia. So she decided to help me, which turned out to be an even larger problem. Number one, she sort of stopped playing basketball, but she kept watching it, and she was trying to give me things that I could do at my size. So I was good for what this thing's called a pick and roll. She's like, you like the kind of person that can set a pick. And I said, why can I set a pick? She said, because you're big as hell. So that's 90% of a pick is to be big as hell and flop. And I was like, what's flop? She's like, well, what's going to happen is they're going to hit you and you're going to fall down. And I said, why am I falling down if it didn't hurt? She's like, see, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. You are so big you can foul, and then you go to the foul line, make foul shots. That's the only way you're going to be a benefit to your team. And I said, but I can't shoot foul shots. She's like, I recognize this, but your numbers are going to be, you're going to get fouled so much, you will get multiple opportunities. So she starts teaching me how to do ball handling. I'm terrible at ball handling. She's teaching me how to shoot foul, pop your wrist. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's talking to me about, I was like a theater geek. So I decided that on this basketball, my Mr. Honey, who still teaches gym at Waldorf, said, you need to figure a role. You need to have a role. So I took the role of enforcer. I don't think that's what he meant. But I decided that I was going to be like the linebacker equivalent of a basketball player. Now, I also had this weird asthma thing where if I was running in fresh air or doing too much, my throat would go cold. So I'm in my Waldorf basketball uniform, big as hell, extra fabric in it because I'm big as hell, with a bandana tied around my head looking for bitches, because that's all I know how to do. So every time I saw somebody that wasn't dressed like me, I'd bring the pain. But that's not how basketball is supposed to work. So we're playing Our Lady Star of the Sea, affectionately referred to as Tuna High. What's up, Tuna High? So we're playing them. Now, I don't know if any of you have been to the Detroit Waldorf School, but it was designed by Albert Kahn, and Albert Kahn is a wonderful architect, but Albert Kahn don't know shit about designing gyms. So the edge of our basketball court was about 3 inches from the wall, and there was no padding. So when you played on our turf, we could cut a corner like a sumbitch, so you were already in our world. So these tuna girls are running flat face into this brick wall, and Mr. Honey's like, we got him. So the Waldorf team had 2 moves. We had a gold move and maroon. So if he called gold, that meant you passed the ball to Angela. If he called maroon, that meant you passed the ball to Angela quicker. Because Angela Taylor, if you know who she is, tell her I said this. Angela Taylor was the only person on our team who could shoot the ball. So the rest of we're like, get it to Angela, get it to Angela played about 9 million minutes that one year because she never came off the court. So it's the last game, we're playing Tuna High, and I start going through the paint, right? And the idea is that I get in the paint and I dish to Angela. So I'm going through the paint, I go and do a layup, and the damn ball goes in. And I actually scored. My mother wasn't there because we had been so bad so long it was crushing her soul to keep coming to the games. I go home and I tell her I made a layup. She said, you need to tell me what you think a layup is. And I said, this is what a layup is. And she said, oh my God, you got one. I said, yeah, so you have to come to the banquet. So at the end of the school year, my mother shows up. We're at Waldorf. When they call you across the stage, they give your stats. And they say, Damian Wilburn, total number of points for the year, 6. Total number of fouls, 23. Total number of technical fouls, 59. And I stand by that record. Thank you.